You wake up in the year 2080, and the sun feels weaker. Weather apps are broken. Airports are shut down worldwide. And a global emergency broadcast flashes one sentence: planetary cooling has crossed the irreversible threshold. This isn't climate change anymore. This is the beginning of a new ice age. And once it starts, it doesn't stop. Stay with this, because the next 20 minutes explain how civilization freezes step by step. For most of the 21st century, humanity worried about warming, rising seas,
residents here are simply adapting to the high tides,
heat waves, melting ice. No one prepared for the opposite. But by the late 2000s and 70s, scientists quietly noticed something terrifying. Earth wasn't just cooling, it was accelerating. You hear whispers first: shorter summers, longer winters, snow in places that never see snow. Governments call it temporary instability. But deep inside classified climate models, the word ice age starts appearing again. It begins with the Atlantic. Oceanographers detect a slowdown in the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation, the massive ocean conveyor belt that keeps Europe warm. This isn't theory, it already happened once. 12,800 years ago. Back then, it triggered a sudden ice age in under a decade. In 2074, the current slows again, just slightly. Politicians dismiss it, but scientists panic, because if this system collapses, Northern Europe becomes Siberia, and that's only the beginning. By 2076, astronomers notice something else. The sun enters a grand solar minimum. Solar activity drops. Sunspots vanish. Energy output weakens. It's happened before, during the Little Ice Age in the 1600s. Back then, rivers froze solid. Crops failed. Civilizations collapsed. Now imagine that, with 9 billion people alive. If this already feels uncomfortable, stay with this, because the worst hasn't happened yet. In 2079, spring doesn't arrive. Not in Canada, not in Northern Europe, not in Russia, not in parts of Asia. Snow remains in April. Frost hits in June. Harvests fail twice in 1 year. Satellite images show something chilling. Snow cover is expanding southward, not retreating. You check the maps. Entire regions are turning white. And then, in early 2080, the UN declares a planetary climate emergency for the first time ever. 2080, the ice line appears. Scientists draw a line on global maps. They call it the Survival Latitude. Everything above it becomes unstable. Below it, still livable. For now, cities affected first: London, Berlin, Toronto, Chicago, Moscow, Seoul, Northern Japan. You hear a phrase repeated across media: managed global retreat. That's when it hits you. Humanity isn't fighting the ice age. It's running from it.
Stop! It's too cold, I can't feel my hands. Help him up, quickly!
Within months, hundreds of millions begin moving south. Highways freeze solid. Ports shut down. Rail systems fail. People abandon cities that took centuries to build. You watch drone footage. Skyscrapers half buried in snow. Frozen rivers turned into roads. Entire suburbs swallowed by ice. Borders tighten. Nations argue over climate refuge quotas. And then something darker begins happening. Modern agriculture was never built for cold. By 2081, wheat belts freeze, rice yields drop catastrophically, livestock dies in record numbers, greenhouses consume massive energy, global food prices triple in 18 months. You hear the term calorie rationing for the first time. Governments introduce food credits, protein substitutes, lab-grown emergency nutrition, insect-based survival diets, hunger spreads, not because food doesn't exist, but because cold breaks supply chains. If this is unsettling, pause here and ask yourself, if winter never ended, where would you go? Cold changes everything. Heating demand explodes. Power grids collapse under strain. Fossil fuels run low. Renewables struggle under snow. Nuclear plants become strategic assets. Entire regions black out. In frozen cities, buildings become death traps. You hear emergency instructions. Stay indoors, seal windows, share heat, do not travel unless ordered. The world feels smaller, colder, more fragile. By 2083, survival overrides politics. Extreme measures roll out. Forced relocations south, climate-controlled mega-shelters, underground cities revived, nuclear-powered heating hubs, martial law in frozen zones. Some nations merge, others collapse. Maps are redrawn, not by war, but by temperature. And then the rumor spreads.
What did they say?
There's something worse coming.
They said it's changing course. It's heading right for us.
Climate models update. The truth emerges. Ice reflects sunlight. More ice equals less heat absorbed. Less heat equals more ice. A feedback loop has begun. Scientists confirm it quietly. Even if the sun recovers, even if emissions stop, the ice age may now sustain itself for centuries. Humanity has crossed a one-way door, and then comes the twist no one expected. As ice advances, pressure builds. Glaciers trigger earthquakes. Volcanoes awaken under ice sheets. Methane trapped in permafrost destabilizes, not warming fast enough to stop the cold, but enough to cause chaos. You hear a terrifying prediction. Ice age plus volcanic winter equals global darkness. Ash-filled skies, shortened daylight, colder temperatures. The planet feels hostile again, like it did before civilization. By 2090, society divides. Group 1, the surface survivors. They live near the equator, crowded, hot, overpopulated, constant tension over land and water. Group 2, the deep civilization. They go underground, subsurface cities, nuclear-powered habitats, artificial sunlight, controlled ecosystems. You're offered a choice. Stay on the surface with billions, or disappear underground, possibly forever. No one knows which option saves humanity. By 2100, snow covers half the northern hemisphere. Cities you once knew exist only in archives. Children are born who have never seen grass, never felt rain, never known summer. And one final question echoes through scientific circles. What if this ice age isn't the enemy, but Earth resetting itself without us in mind? If humanity survives underground, will it ever return to the surface? Or will this ice age mark the end of the world we recognize and the birth of something else? Imagine if. This is how the next chapter of human history begins. If you want more future scenarios like this, you already know what to do next.